Can you just take a straw poll? Like, by show of hands, how many people have participated in a program that has been put on by Spaces? So like, that's clearly not like a good number of us. Like I see a lot of people who have, but like at the same time, like for those of you who have not participated in a program, like it's very difficult to understand how Spaces works and the programming that they do and the budget that they require if you have not partaken in the planning and partaking in like these programs. Because these programs are very I don't even know how to describe it. It's very difficult to describe like in this environment to you all like if you have not partaken in it. So like for me, like it's very like discerning to hear that we as a council want to micromanage their budget. And because of the questions that we have, and we like a good number of us have not even participated in these programs or understand the importance of these programs and like the meaning that it has to the communities that they serve. So I really don't understand why like we need to micromanage this right now and why it needs to be tabled.
Dana?
Oh, like so understanding like how the budget works and like AS's role, I'm confused as to what exactly, and I'm going to yield my time to you, the Eastern Finance. So just so you listen ahead of time, so I don't repeat myself. But I'm confused as to exactly what you and everyone else, I won't put it all on you, but need to feel like you can improve it. Like since we can't really change anything, I don't understand what you're looking for other than just questions answered.
Okay, so I guess the question, you're asking what questions I brought up?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of them was what's up with the carry forward, 2020, why isn't it in here? Because essentially Spaces doesn't have a dedicated reserve fund. What happens is the carry forward comes back into operational costs. So they can use that in their budget, but it's not line item in their budget. So that was one of the questions that was asked, like what's happening with that? Another question that was brought up is if you, I don't know if you have the Spaces budget in front of you. There's a under total Spaces funding and allocated, it's $210,000. Another one under ASP is $63,000. Another one on Shades is $64,000. So one of the questions that was asked was, what are they doing with this unallocated fund? Why isn't it in the budget? So we kind of needed someone from Spaces there to answer the questions. Unfortunately, they weren't there and they're not here now. So that was mainly one of the questions that was asked. Another question was, basically that was it. And with the questions of other line items, I could do my best to answer them because I did meet with David, and David, me and myself and Christina met with David. So I can do my best to answer some of the line items, but I don't know much more than a few of them. So in my capacity, I can't really respond to questions that I don't have the answers to. So there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered.
Andrew.
So I'm gonna okay. So with all the respect to the president, it was stated that we shouldn't change any of the line items because we don't know what's going on. Yet it was said that we should just hash it out now and talk about it. But there's no open places here. So how can we hash it out or talk about the line items or rearrange if the space that the board of directors in here give us insight into what those line items are? Another one is they do have dedicated funds that we do have to allocate. However, by changing the line items and keep maintaining the same amount, yes, we are just reallocating line items, but by reorganizing those, we are saying what AS feels should be the amount. Should work more on. Let's say we decrease one line item and increase for non-core org programming, or increase core programming, or core org programming under Shapes or ASP. That means that we want them to focus more on Shapes and ASP. Our job right now, it was brought up that we should just pass it and then ask questions later. To be fiscally responsible, to be financially responsible, we should ask the questions now, then pass it. Because why are we going to pass something if we don't even know what the hell some of the line items are or some of the questions aren't even answered? That to me is fiscally irresponsible. And another one is too slow to ask for the budget. If you want me to start pulling up emails again, I could do that, but we've been talking, and we've been in as much communication as we can with Spaces. I've been emailing and I've been slow to respond to some, and they've been slow to respond to some of you. But there are times we are in constant communication. So unless you want me to pull up those emails again, I can make the same argument. And technically they still are operating without the budget approval. I spoke to, they are still operating without the budget approval, which is kind of shady and it's not really great to do, but they can still hold on for another week.
Grant?
This question of responsibility, I just don't understand why we're trying to paint the directors of spaces in this negative light when clearly I don't care whose responsibility is what, but clearly there was a responsibility of this council to ask them proper questions after they gave their presentation. Clearly no one wanted to take the time to do that. So, and regardless, if you have to table the budget, you have to table the budget. But I'm saying that when it comes to responsibility and how we're trying to depict the people who are in charge of this budget and actually know what they're doing with the money that has been given to them through this referendum is irresponsible in itself, and also not taking the opportunity to ask the questions that you have now when there was the opportunity to ask them, especially when the co-directors as well as some interns were in the room who could respond. So that's all I have to say.
Michael? And Mommy.
I feel like a lot of concerns, like it is adequately being addressed on kind of, I feel like there's concern over that certain spaces program in some way. That's not the case at all. I know from my standpoint voting and being on the finance committee, I have a question of, so there was 120,000 carried over last year that wasn't reflected in the budget. And I mean, like, physically, where is that money? Like the bank account number. And if, it's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, like, I don't know where that number is. We try to find it. And there are questions that kind of, like, the budget as a whole is not necessarily, we're trying to take money away from. But in order to make sure we're doing our part and overseeing, and, there's a 300,000 discrepancy. Tonight we are, looking at a lot of different funding guidelines and stuff, and it would just be, I feel, irresponsible on our part to just pass a budget and then afterwards try to okay, where is the money kind of vaguely figured out first. No one's trying to cut any spaces program. I mean, I love the spaces program. The binder thing, I use that, really awesome. But just a side note, and I think it's just I think more it's our job as the associated students to make sure that every budget is succinct and correct down honestly to the penny, because we don't have millions of dollars anymore to just kind of we should be looking after it. And I just think we need to look at the budget. We just need to look at it. It's okay to ask questions. That's what we do. Questions can arise. My questions came up earlier today, and I'm sorry if I hadn't caught a rollover initially. But I have a serious question that I came up with today, and I don't feel comfortable passing a budget until that can be adequately answered.
Christian?
I just think this talk about responsibility is kind of bogus, because from my understanding, the business is already operating without a passed budget. So I feel like we need to pass it now, and there's no reason to table it. Also, from my understanding from finance, the main concern was about the under-allocated money in the carry forward that wasn't reflected in the budget. Even if we found out the answers to those questions, I don't think it would mean anything, because we can't really do much to their budget. So I feel like we should just pass it, ask those questions, they'll be answered. And everyone wins, because we can't really do anything unless those questions are answered. So I think it's irrelevant. We should just pass it today.